we don't have the clickers, so we just have to like
Yeah,
stand
we're
up
gonna
here
have
and
to
then
go and
come back. Okay.
let us
Ready?
know when you're gonna start.
I already started.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Vincenza,
I'm Casey.
and we're gonna be teaching you guys how to use ASL in the classroom with your students.
Okay, so we're gonna think a little. First question is, can you think of any daily distractions in the classroom?
And you can work with your partners to
partner next to you
discuss.
to brainstorm a little. Hearing some really good discussion. Anybody want to share their answers?
Marianne.
There's like the cell phone, or like the window, looking out the window, and then people outside talking. Could be distracting.
Those can definitely be distractions.
We said other students like sitting around you and like erasers or pens clicking, stuff like that.
That's very true. Very true.
Anything else? Okay, so some other distractions in the classroom might be able to be assisted through the use of ASL, but we'll talk about it a little later on.
And did any of your teachers ever use sign language in your classes in elementary school? No? Okay.
So one of my teachers actually did use ASL in the classroom, and she would have us use it for different distractions, and we'll use an example of it later on. But using ASL is really great to minimize distractions in the classroom and enhance communication. And like one way that you can think about that, I babysit a 2-year-old who, like, I started babysitting her when she was 10 months old. And you know how like usually when you're babysitting a kid, they're just crying for no reason and you have no idea why? So these parents taught their kid how to say more and milk and different words like that. So when she was crying, she could tell me why. So like definitely ASL is really great to use in all different areas of life.
Okay, so our objective is by the end of our lesson today, you guys will be able to use the ASL 3 ways in your classrooms.
Okay, so where are we going? We're going to talk about who you can use ASL with, which is everyone.
So we're going to talk about what, so American Sign Language, to teach you guys some signs to use in the classroom.
We're going to talk about where, and like I just said, you can use it everywhere.
And when are you going to use it? You can use it all the time, even outside of the classroom.
Okay, so some signs to know throughout the presentation. The first is the letter A to show that you have an answer. So can everybody do that? Okay, thanks. And then next is the letter I to show that I have a question. So that's why I use the letter I. And then the letter C to show that you have a comment. So can we go through them one more time, everybody? So for answer, A,
Comment.
C, and question, I. And we're going to use them throughout, so like anytime you have an answer, comment, or question, try and use the sign, and if you forget them, they're up here on the wall. So A for answer, so you can see the little magnifying glass. C for comment, like a little speech bubble. And then question with the question. Everybody good? Cool. Okay.
So can you guys think of some reasons why ASL would be helpful to use in your classrooms? You can discuss with your elbow partners.
Well, then you can know exactly why they're raising their hand, and there's a question. There you go, that things.
So raise their hand if you want to know how to answer technically to say.
Okay, you guys brainstorm some? Okay, so does anyone want to share? Do you remember the sign for an answer? Yeah, awesome. Okay, Shannon?
Well, we said because there's less talking, you know, be like, oh, I have a question, I have a comment, I have an answer. They could just use their symbol, and also then the teacher knows what, like if they, like what it is, that they're not being, if they have a question or if they're just trying to go to the bathroom, like they can tell like what the student is trying to say.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. It really helps with like instead of people calling out. You're very correct. Anybody else?
Mary was saying something similar where she was just saying that you kind of, like, as the teacher will be, like, ahead of the game because if you already know what they're going to ask, you don't have to take time away from kind of your lesson or whatever you're doing. And,
Definitely.
It helps with distractions for sure to eliminate those.
So, like you guys definitely pointed out, it helps to address interruptions in the classroom.
It's also, sorry,
Go ahead.
it's also good to check for understanding. So like throughout your lesson, instead of just being, does everyone understand, and people like raising their hands for questions, you can just do a sign for check for understanding and your kids can be like yes or no, and then you can address those.
So then you can also use it for respectful discussion. So rather than everybody talking over top of each other, you can use like the 3 signs that we're using, answer, comment, or questions, so that you can like make sure that the conversation is flowing nicely and people are being respectful. And now we're going to talk about how you can use it in the classroom. So you guys want to discuss that a little? We'll give you about a minute to do that and then come back with some answers.
you can also, like, kind of do it as a like classroom rules and stuff. Like, just like, make it just like part of like the classroom rule or whatever in the beginning. And so you can use it for the bathroom.
Guys got some ideas?
Who would like to share?
We said that you can like kind of implement it in the beginning of the school year when you're kind of doing all your other classroom rules, and so that like from the beginning of the year they kind of understand that like this is how they're going to be like participating in the class, and
Yeah,
Very good.
definitely
That's very good.
smart to start it right away so that it's something that they're introduced to. Like I know you guys all probably feel kind of weird like sticking your hand up in a fist and rather than a straight hand, but like if they're taught that from the beginning of the year in the classroom, then it's just going to be secondhand to them. So good.
Well, we said again, like, they could use it, like, can I go to the bathroom, can I get water, so they don't just speak it, they can just, teacher can just see it, like, send them. And we said, like, in elementary school.
Oh yeah, in my elementary school, I didn't remember until like we started doing this, but like when everybody was being loud, like the teacher would just put 2 fingers up and then other kids would do it and then everybody would like quiet down.
True. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense
The
too.
teacher doesn't have to, like, yell, like, everyone quiet, they can just do the silent symbol.
Yeah, again with like the whole respect thing so that you're not shouting over. Yeah.
It doesn't take away from the learning time, like it adds to the learning time that you're in class for. So good, yeah.
Anything else before we move on? Okay. So you guys kind of talked about like how you would go about implementing it in a way like of like practical wise. So we're gonna walk through a little bit of the steps that we would use to implement it. So if you wanna take it away.
First you'll decide on like what issues you want to address. So do you want to address like kids raising their hands to go to the bathroom a lot, or do you want to address like having to use the drinking fountain, and then you'll learn the signs for those and implement them like Hannah said early on so the students get used to that.
Yeah, so you'd use it for like the biggest issues in the classroom to start.
And then you'll introduce the signs to your students so they get used to them and you get used to them and the class flows. And then when to use the signs in the classroom. So like if they're going to use the bathroom or if they need to sharpen pencils, things like that.
Okay, so we're going to walk you guys through a scenario of how we would implement using ASL in the classroom. So our problem is little Bobby here is currently raising his hand and you think he's about to add something really great to the discussion, right? But all he's going to do is ask you to go to the bathroom. Kind of disappointing. So rather than having him raise his hand and you're going to call on him thinking he's going to have this great answer, you can introduce the bathroom sign. So when Bobby has to go to the bathroom, rather than raising his hand like he's going to answer a question, he's going to put his hand like this and shake it, and then you can just like give him a thumbs up to head to the bathroom and you won't be interrupting learning time. So does that make sense to everybody? So the issue is that kids are always raising their hands. You think they're going to add something to this discussion, and then they're just like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? Then you teach the kids the sign. So you're gonna say, okay everyone, we've been having a lot of problems with everyone going to the bathroom lately and interrupting our lessons, so we're just gonna use the bathroom sign. And then you teach them to use it like while you're having a discussion and they need to go to the bathroom. Make sense? Okay, so now we're gonna have you guys do a scenario.
So scenario 1, we're going to address the issue of volunteering in the classroom. So lots of kids like to volunteer to bring things to the office or pass out papers. So we're going to just talk about what sign you're going to teach your students and how to teach your students when to use the sign. So if you want to discuss with your partners and write or draw in the box about how to use the signs. And if you want to use your sign sheets too, there's a bunch of different signs you can use in the classroom. So feel free to use those too, not just the ones that we discussed.
And if you can think of like a different sign also that you would want to use in this situation, but like we don't have it on the sheet, you can always say that too. But most of them, like most of our ideas were there.
Sorry.
Yes. I mean, there's no right or wrong. I just wanted to make sure that like some people were thinking differently. Looking good.
So what did you guys come up with? Answer, question, comment? Go ahead.
We discussed how we're gonna do the volunteer sign, and we're gonna do it like right away as soon as the year begins, or just if the issue occurs like midway, just address it as soon as possible. Be, okay, you want to volunteer, just do that sign and just implement it throughout the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did I
Hannah?
And then I also like to add on to what Mary said, to just be consistent with it, and then to only like allow students to volunteer if they use the sign. So
Yes.
like, if they didn't use the sign, then like you don't choose them, you choose someone that did, and then eventually like they'll catch on if they weren't getting it already.
Smart. That's a really good idea. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else have a comment or answer?
You guys kind of had similar ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, those are all great ideas. And then one other thing that we thought we might add, like kind of a rule for using the sign, would be that, like, say it's in the morning, all of your morning work has to be done before you can use the volunteer sign. So like whatever you're working on always has to be done before you could ever use that sign. So just like something to add on so that you make sure that the volunteers are always like have their work done, they're not gonna volunteer and then come back and be behind. So yeah, but like you guys had the general idea of it, so great job. We're gonna do a second scenario. You can flip over your sheets because we have the same route on the back. So,
So we're going to address the issue of shouting out answers and comments in the classroom. So kind of how we taught you guys the signs, you could think about using these signs or any other signs on the sheet or maybe that you've seen. Feel free, you can discuss with your partners if you'd like to work together too, and you feel free to write or draw your answers.
and then again, like it says on the sheet, we're gonna think about what signs we're gonna teach to the students and how will you teach your students to use them. So, like you guys all talked about the process of it and maybe some stipulations for using the different signs.
Yeah, you can.
I use the same classroom. It's like the difference to not concentrate.
Yeah, that's right.
Really good drawings.
It's like worksheet takes 1.5.
Shannon, that's actually really good.
When it's right side up, it's not as good.
So,
Does
do you guys
everyone-
need more time or are you all set? Good? All right, what do you guys come up with?
I mean, I kind of like your question, answer, comment, thing going on, because I feel like it really, like, you can really tell what the student's going to say, like, if it's gonna be relevant, and they're like very different from each other, so you won't get confused when you're looking at them. So I thought that this would be a good thing to implement to that classroom.
Yeah, thanks. Anybody else have any other ideas?
And then we kind of added that it might be helpful to also teach them like the bathroom and drink one, because if they're calling out for things that aren't like participating to the conversation, then like teaching them that could like cut back on distractions. And then for how we added like that we could put them on posters like you guys did, to reinforce it, and also maybe to tell like parents about the signs you're using, so that parents can use them at home too, and that way they're more likely to remember them.
Yeah, that's a great way to use the signs like in and outside of the classroom. And like for the students, if they have like a question and you think they're going to add to the content, instead of saying, can I use the bathroom, they could just do the bathroom sign and you can give them the yes or no. That's awesome. Great
So,
for sharing.
Great ideas, guys. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so for our final thing, so our objective today was for you guys to be able to have 3 signs to use in your classrooms. So, with your partner, we would like you to come up with a student-teacher skit using a sign to help minimize distractions in the classroom.
So just identify like what the problem and or distraction is in the classroom, and then how you're gonna use it, and then just like show us like how it works out in the class. And let us know if you have any questions.
Can we do kind of what we already did? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because as long as you're like showing how you're implementing it in the classroom, then
Yeah,
you'll
use
be able
any
to do it in
sign.
your own classroom.
So, use it.
And then just like give us some, let's see. I guess you could give us a C when you're ready. It's kind of like a comment. Once you have it all planned out. Good use sign, Shannon.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, our one group ready. See some creative choices.
I know.
You guys
All
ready
set.
too? Okay, who wants to go first? Okay.
Can we stay, do we have to?
You can go up to
You
the
can
front
come
or you can
up,
stay
you can
seated,
move around,
whatever you would
whatever
like to
you
do.
wanna
Oh, Mary, do you have something to add?
Can I go to the bathroom, please?
All right, Mary. We're gonna use our sign next time for the bathrooms. Let's try it again. All right, you're good to go.
Good one, guys.
Now this will help minimize distractions in the classroom.
And this
Keep
is,
you on topic.
yeah, and this is one of the ones that my teacher used in 5th grade. If we wanted to go to the bathroom, we did the bathroom sign and just gave us a thumbs up and we were off. So definitely, I know from firsthand experience, it works really well. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, so we're doing like the student-to-student distraction.
So can we both be students and then have the thing that the teacher will implement?
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
That's awesome. Thinking outside the box. Are you guys gonna come up here or stay in your seat, whatever you want?
Let's stay here.
Okay.
I'll just bother you. Hey, hey,
Stop!
hey.
Stop! I'm trying to pay attention. Stop!
Don't you want to talk to me?
No, stop.
And then the teacher would say,
We'd be like, alright, if that person's bothering you, you can go like this, and it means I'm ignoring you. So that way, I wouldn't have to verbally ask them to stop, I would just go like this.
Smart. That's a really good idea. So if you have like kids who are always bothering each other, if your desks are set up like where you're right next to each other like that, that's definitely a really good one to implement.
And it's great because we didn't even discuss that in our lesson. So thank you guys for bringing that up.
Awesome. So before we finish up, do you guys have any questions or comments to make about? Do you guys think that you're gonna try and implement some ASL in your classroom?
You think you guys have 3 signs you could definitely use in your classroom?
yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you guys
So
for
we're all
coming.
set. Thank you.